Hey, welcome to Pokédex, the channel where I build decks for the Pokemon trading card game. So I was thinking today about what deck I was going to build for you guys, thinking about Ancient Origin, competitive cards, but then I just thought, well, what the heck, I'm just going to play a fun deck. I know a lot of you guys follow me for the competitive stuff, but I also know a lot of you guys just like the crazier decks, so I'm just going to try to build something crazy today. I think I haven't played one of the crazier decks in a while. So yeah, I'm just going to play Gyarados. It's a stage 1, also from Ancient Origins. It has Theta Double, the ancient trait, which allows us to have 2 Pokemon tools attached to Gyarados. The focus here is going to be full Retaliation. It's the only attack we can use in this deck, and for 2 colorless energy it does 30 damage plus 30 more damage for each damage counter on our benched Magikarp. So what we are going to try to do is we have a lot of Magikarp in play with damage counters on them. Unfortunately for us, Magikarp only has 30 HP, but they can have 20 damage on each, so if we have a single Magikarp down, it's 90 damage with the Gyarados. If we have 2, it's 150. If you have a couple of muscle bands on there, it's 190 damage, so we can knock out EX Pokemon with our stage 1, so that's pretty cool. How are we going to get the damage counters on Magikarp? Well, it's pretty simple actually. We are using Team Magma Secret Base, which says that whenever any player wants to put a Pokemon down, if that Pokemon is not a Team Magma Pokemon, and Magikarp is not a Team Magma Pokemon, that Pokemon just gets 2 damage counters. So not only will our opponent's Pokemon get damage counters when my opponents put them down, we also get them on Magikarp, which is great because they will have all the damage that we need in order to have our Gyarados ready to use a maximum full Retaliation for 1,000,000 damage. That's at least what we are trying to do here, because Gyarados also evolves from Magikarp. That kind of runs a little thin. Sometimes we run out of Gyarados, simply put. So I'm just playing 3, because we will never evolve the 4th Magikarp, right, if we have it in play. So I'm just going with another attacker, and that one is going to be Vespiquen. I'm playing a 2-2 line. This one offers a different type coverage than Gyarados. Actually, I don't think water Pokemon are really cool right now, because there's not a lot of strong fire types, so I don't think not a lot of Pokemon are going to be weak to water, but grass typing is a little bit better. Also, Vespiquen attacks for also double colorless energy, and there's a lot of Pokemon that are going to be dying with this deck, with all the Magikarp with damage counters, and well, you'll see, the same support Pokemon that we are playing for Gyarados also work for Vespiquen. So let's just start looking into the deck. We have 2 Eevee, 2 Flareon, and 1 Jolteon. Also the new guys from Ancient Origins to give us extra type coverage. So the Flareon also works really well with the Blacksmith that we are playing in this deck. And also the Jolteon, because a lot of Pokemon right now are weak to lightning types, so I think that works out really nicely. We have a Jolteon in here just for that, and once again it works both for Vespiquen and for Gyarados. We have 2 Shaymin EX in here. It's the most expensive card in the deck. This would be like some type of budget deck without a Shaymin EX. If you guys haven't run them, if you don't, well, I think you can go around it and play some other cards, but Shaymin EX is just really, really good. Actually, I have something to say about that. When I bought my Shaymin EX, I pre-ordered them even before the set was out, and I paid like 15 euros for each, which is like the price of 2 Gengar EXs. So instead of buying a couple of janky EX Pokemon, if you're a new player, I think you just might consider just saving some money and just going for Shaymin EXs, because the decks you can build with this guy are pretty much every deck, and some of them are really inexpensive, like the Vespiquen Raichu decks, and I think Shaymin is a really important card in there. So if you're going to spend some money, I would urge you guys to save it for Shaymin EX, which is the most important card and the least easily replaceable. So, my rant aside, yeah, we are running 2 Shaymin EX in this deck, and then we are playing 4 Unknown. Unknown is cool because it helps us basically just cut the size of our deck. It's like we're running a 56 card deck. That's pretty awesome, and also works really well with Vespiquen, so that's what we are going for. Also, of course, allows us to draw a card out of Level Ball if we don't really need any Pokemon, and we are playing 3 Level Ball. We also have 1 Sacred Ash if we need to, well, just get some Gyarados or Magikarps back. We have a couple of Switch, just not to discard energy. 4 Ultra Ball to grab any Pokemon, especially the Shaymin, and of course discard cards that we don't need. 4 via Seeker, really good. We don't have a lot of supporters anymore because of the N rotating out, so I'm just playing 4 via Seeker in pretty much all my decks right now. I have 1 Ace Trainer, also because a lot of Pokemon are dying with this deck. Sometimes we get to a point where we can actually Ace Trainer our opponent down to 3 cards really early on. That's cool. We have a Blacksmith, as I said, works really well with a Flareon. We don't have the Battle Compressors in this deck like we do in the Vespiquen Raichu deck that I showed you guys earlier in this channel, like last week. But sometimes in the later stages of the game, it's an option to just get some energy back into the Gyarados or the Vespiquens if we have the Flareon out. We also have 1 Lysander, you guys know what that does, don't really need to explain it, and 4 Professor Sycamore because it's just a better supporter to draw cards. 4 Team Magma Secret Base, who really want to get this thing out early before we even put the Magikarps down, so we have to play all 4 of them. And then 3 Hard Charm and 3 Muscle Band. We play a lot of tools because we can actually put them down on Gyarados with Theta Double. So a lot of times we have a Magikarp in our bench with a couple of damage counters on it, so we might as well just put the Hard Charm just so that my opponent, I don't know, doesn't get a Manectric out and just start sniping our bench. So this protects our Magikarps a little bit better, and then if we actually evolve, we can just put the Muscle Band down later. So I think that's pretty cool. We're also playing 7 Energy, it's the 4 DCE and the 3 Fire Energy that we also played in the previous Vespiquen decks, and I think work pretty nicely here as well. So that's the deck. Let's take it for a spin. And let's see what type of deck we get. So it's a Lightning Fire deck. That's really interesting. I don't think there's a lot of Fire and Lightning decks going around. So yeah, we will want to get going first. Oh, Electivire. Okay, so I know what's going on. Electivire and Magmortar, if I remember correctly. So let's just start with a Magikarp. I'm not going to put this guy down, the second Magikarp down right away. Maybe we draw a Stadium here. We do not, okay. Oh, when we do out of the turn card, that's really good, so perfect. The thing is, if the Electabuzz my opponent has, well, it deals 10 damage, but if my opponent plays a Muscle Band, it's just going to kill our Magikarp, because it's even weak against Lightning, but I guess it doesn't really matter. So if we actually draw a Hard Charm out of this Sycamore, yeah, but I'm not going to risk it. I think yeah, and we did draw the Hard Charm. If we did not play that Muscle Band and we didn't get the Hard Charm, I guess we would still be in the same situation, but with less damage on the table, so I guess that's it. I don't know if I'm going to play this Hard Charm, but I think I'm going to save it. My opponent just Lysanders out the Magikarp. I don't know, maybe that was wrong, but okay. Don't want to think too much about that. I think that was a pretty marginal play. My opponent gets an Evo Soda out of the Trainer's Mail, which doesn't really concern me too much because he cannot evolve this turn. Silent Lab, okay. That prevents our Shaymins unless we put the Stadium down that we have in hand, so definitely going to trump that thing. Okay, Ultra Ball, discarding an N and a Fire Energy. It's probably going for a Magmar. Yep. And a VS Seeker for the N, okay. And my opponent ends. And I think I actually like this hand a lot more. We got the Gyarados, we have the Stadium still, and we have an Ultra Ball. So we have a lot of stuff. I think I'm going to put the Stadium down, and I'm also going to play the Level Ball, grabbing another Magikarp while we can. I just want to get all those damage counters out. I'm definitely going to evolve this guy. So yeah, Stadium, and let's see if we have, yeah, we do have the Magikarp there. Sorry, I almost picked the Eevee. Yeah, but the Magikarp, and still have another one, so might as well put the Stadium down and get all those damage counters going. Second Headringer in there, and now just go for a Shaymin for 6 cards, which is, I think, pretty awesome. Yeah, I want to draw cards out of this, so let's get this Hard Charms down. And we have a Fire Energy. You can put it on Shaymin, because then we can retreat if my opponent Lysanders it out. And let's just deal 190 damage, that's a lot of damage. Let's see what my opponent throws in our face. If I had to guess, I'd say he either comes into... okay, so he's not going to attack this turn. He just went with a Magmar with no energy. So I guess he's just trying to build up his bench. I don't really remember what Electivire and Magmortar do exactly. I guess I should have checked it out in the beginning of the game when my opponent mulliganed. So now there's a Muscle Band. So there are Muscle Bands in my opponent's deck. Okay, and once again we get a better hand. That's I think really interesting. Okay, there's the Electivire and the Nivosoda for the Magmortar, sorry. Yeah, there we go. The Magmortar is weak against the Gyarados, but at the same time the Electivire is strong against Gyarados because we are weak to this, and it deals 20 plus 20 for each energy on Magmortar, and Magmortar does 160, but only if you have like 4 energy on that and an Electivire on your bench, so it's not the greatest thing ever. Neither of those guys is, so I'm just going to try to go through. I guess the Electivire is the strongest because with the DC next turn he can just knock us out. So I'm just going to find another, no sorry, not the unknown. I think I'll go for the Shaman because I just want to draw the most cards I can. Yeah, draw 4. Okay, we can discard this guy just to get that bench space for the another Magikarp, I think. I mean, we could go for the Eevee, but I don't think I really need the Blacksmith now, and my opponent's types are not useful. So yeah, I think I'm going to put this Magikarp down and just get the Muscle Band in there. Alright, and I think I'm also going to play the Supporter. We don't have any useful supporters in our discard pile, so might as well, yeah. This Gyarados... Okay, cannot go on the Magikarp with a Muscle Band, so I think I'm going to wait. I'm just going to put an energy there because it's an energy drop for the turn and 500 damage on the Magmar. It's pretty cool. Electivire comes into the active position. I think my opponent is going to put the DC down and just kill my Gyarados. Yeah, there it is. Pretty obvious play. If it did have another energy on the Magmar, he would have dealt 1, 2, 3, 4, so it would still be enough. Yeah, guess that was a mistake. I would have played the energy on the Magmar because I'm going to kill his Electivire anyway, so might as well just protect his energy. I think I can go with a Shaman because it can retreat, but yeah, I think that's it. Alright, let's just put this thing down and now retreat into the... Oh man, I forgot I already had an energy there. Why did I put the energy on the Shaman? It doesn't matter. I think I'll just grab a combi now, although all my Vespiquen are in my discard pile, but we might just draw the Sacred Ash, so... do I attack? I'm going to kill this dude, but yeah, I'm just play the Supporter first, and now full Retaliation, 170 damage, just get rid of that guy. And now my opponent, I don't really know what he's going to do. He cannot deal a lot of damage to us, I think, with this guy, so... Curious to know if he has a follow-up. So there's the DCE. I guess he needs a Blacksmith in order to be able to attack. I don't know if my opponent is playing that or not. Yeah, he is, of course. So he's going to attack us. If it does not have the Electivire, I think we will be in a decent spot, because Twin Bursts would be killing our Gyarados. Oh, he actually retreats. Okay, so that means we get a free knockout here. And we can actually get another guy ready. Maybe even possibly... No, we cannot possibly draw the Lysander, I think. So I'm just going to save this stuff in hand because we have the Gyarados there. So I'm just going to take another prize. Okay, we have 2 unknown. If my opponent just kills this guy, we have 2 guaranteed card draws. And then hopefully can draw into the Gengar. Sorry, not Gengar, the Gyarados. Okay, there's an N, which sucks. And we get reduced to garbage in our hand. The evolutions are really bad in this matchup because they are pretty useless. But I think they'll be good against a lot of decks. My opponent does get the Pokemon he's looking for, so we are in trouble, I think. Just going with the Shaman, I think, after my opponent just kills our Gyarados, because we can retreat. We have the energy there. My opponent is taking his time. Don't really know what's there to think about. I mean, oh, there's a Dowsing Machine. Okay, that's something interesting. Definitely a card on the more complex side, although it's going to rotate out. All the specs are, unfortunately, but we can still play them in expanded, I guess. And there's a Dowsing Machine for a VS Seeker. That's an interesting play, I'd say. Well, I guess if you already play the supporter this turn, might as well just get the VS Seeker, because it allows you to just choose what we want to get next turn, but at the same time you might as well just keep the Dowsing Machine. Okay, maybe my opponent doesn't know we are not playing N, but yeah, we're just going for a Sycamore here. And we find a Gyarados, which is pretty fun. Can play the level ball for an unknown, but we already have 4 cards in our deck, so might as well just leave them there. Just evolve this dude, and we can put the second Hard Charm there, just make it extra hard for him to kill our Gyarados, and we are going to knock out this dude, and this energy is going... Well, I guess the Combi doesn't really matter, because the 2 Vespiquen are here, yep. So we have to draw a Sacred Ash. I mean, we might... Maybe it's even prize, and we only have 4 cards in our deck, but I don't know. If we play this on Shaman, we can still draw it later, so yeah, might as well. Full Retaliation, 180 damage, and we draw the Sacred Ash, actually, so yeah, could have maybe gone for the Combi. But the energy being on Shaman, we can actually bring it back to our hand. And I don't think my opponent is going to kill us here. He would have to pull like something crazy. It's victory is ours. I guess we didn't play against the greatest deck ever, but at the same time we're not playing the greatest deck ever ourselves, so it was a pretty matchup, I think. I don't think our opponent ever stood a chance, but to be honest, but yeah, he did get to N us down to a very low amount of cards, so I think this is a pretty fun deck. Tell me what you guys think, tell me if you like this or not, and I guess see you guys next time. Bye!